Welcome everybody to Coach Shop Podcast. This is your boy Pat Bayless, and I'm in the building today with somebody very special, somebody that I met actually very recently. His drive, his ambition, and just the way he approached me as a person definitely stood out. And me and him been having conversations to be on this pod, and I thought it was just something that had to be done. Me and him have a lot of interests that are the same, which is very cool, very dope. And I hope to learn more about him as you do. Introducing my guy, Dimitri. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm blessed, brother. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I like that hat right off the rip. What does that say? It says mental wellness club.
Is mental wellness club. Yeah,
That's dope.
mental.
I like that hat. Speaking of hats, I'm wearing a hat that is your brand. So tell me a
Yes.
little bit about your brand.
Well, my brand. Well, first of all, like we said off mic, I should be wearing my own brand while I'm here, but we'll say that for another time. I'm still trying to get adjusted to just promoting myself in a certain way. But something told me to put this hat on, and that's what it is. So eventually, you'll see me with my own brand soon enough. But anyway, my brand is called Enough. It's used to be Are You Done Overthinking? But my brand really is for I don't want to say mental health reasons, but everything comes back to coming from a state of, I would say, mental incarceration.
That's deep.
Well, it's like over the years, I've always had trouble with overthinking, always had trouble with putting myself in situations where I would say I'm a little bit of a self-saboteur. And you get to a point in time where you try to free yourself from that mental captivity to where you put yourself in situations where you're holding yourself back from your destiny, your passion, or your dreams, pushing people away. So I just found myself always saying, all right, enough is enough. I got to put myself out there. There's certain things that I want out of life, and there's certain things that there's certain fears that I need to confront. So I get to a certain space where I know what I want to do. So in order for me to do that, I have to really look myself in the mirror and just tell myself, okay, are you willing to change for the better? So you get to a point where you're like, all right, enough is enough. So now I'm driving into all my creativity. I'm driving into my passion, and that's what I've been doing for the last few years. So I just felt like coming up with a name, I always have a hard time. I don't like faking things. So coming up with the name Enough, I just wanted everything to be transparent when it comes to me and how I feel and my feelings. So instead of just coming up with any old regular name that I just made because I just think it's fly, I started off with Are You Done Overthinking? I got hoodies called Are You Done Overthinking? But I changed it as time goes on just to make it a little shorter. And I felt like just simply having enough printed, it says so much.
For sure.
It's like it's a conversation piece. Even when I had shirts that said Are You Done Overthinking? I had people walk in the street and they'll just start conversation with me. It was like, they're like, yes. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yo, your shirt. Like, are you done overthinking? Yes, I'm done overthinking. Because we all go through the same things.
Absolutely.
So it's just like, I want my brand to be true to me. And if it's something that you can relate to, then we got a certain common ground that we all can relate to. And at this point in time, I feel like all of us are kind of wearing brands that are true to us and everything's transparent. The Louis and Gucci, all that's cool. But at the end of the day, who you are as a person, I feel like your attire should represent that too.
Right.
Even past attire. I'm just talking about just who you are as a person, what you do. So it's not just clothes for me. It's not just music. It's not just videos. That's everything encapsulated in who I am as a person.
I think it's interesting that you say that just in just attire, right? Because I think we've all seen people wear things with confidence, right? And we can sometimes see somebody that's Louis down or Gucci down, and somebody that came from H&M. And they wearing that H&M stuff that's $15, $20 each, more confident than that person that's wearing old Louis. And you could kind of read it right off their body, off their language, the way they're moving, the way you could see it. It just kind of radiates. So I find that interesting. Also, another piece that is interesting is that with you calling it Enough, I actually have a hoodie because like I do clothes too. And one of the drops was I am enough. And just like that, saying I am enough to people resonates because like, wow, like, you know, because like you said, people are going through so many different things, whether they're admitting it, whether they're not. Like I have people reach out to me when I put out clips and things of that nature, and they'll tell me a story and I've known some of these people, but they'll tell me a whole story and how they were this close to doing this or that. And I'm like, wow, like that's something I would have never known.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I really want to get deep dive into that, but I want to circle back. I want to go all the way back and kind of learn the person, behind everything. So let's just start off from the beginning. Where are you from? Where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
Well, I'm from Jamaica, Queens. I grew up in Jamaica, Queens, with my parents, mother and father, 2 sisters. So I'm the only boy in the household. Just growing up in a very it's the hood, but it's still like it has its fair share of like suburb as like surroundings, but at the same time, of course, we deal with our own situations here and there. But it was still anybody that know South Jamaica, Queens. It has its pros and cons, just like any other neighborhood, but especially growing up in an urban environment. But I could just say for me and myself, having a good, wholesome family structure, but at the same time, when you go outside, you still have to deal with certain situations because there's certain situations in that your household they can't protect you from.
Well, that's one thing I want to ask you too is being the only son. What responsibilities were put on you at a young age with having your sisters? You're the oldest?
No, and that's the funny thing. I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. So what responsibilities were put on you, even just being the youngest, but being the only boy, when it came to protecting your sisters and also protecting maybe your name in the household?
It was funny because being the youngest, like I get away with a lot.
You got away with a lot.
You get away with a lot because it's like, yes, I'm the only boy and I'm the youngest, so there's just certain things. I think that question is better when it comes to how I dealt with things internally instead of like the pressure people put on me personally.
Interesting.
Because as I got older, I feel like growing up with a bunch of women in the house, when you're young, you just like not copying, but you emulating what you see. Like my dad was in the military, so there's a lot of times where he wasn't around. So I'm really with my mother and my sisters a lot. And it's easier to say this now. It just, I felt like growing up, I just became more in touch with my feminine side because that's where I'm around a lot.
Right.
And I feel like as I got older, because my dad was around and he was around to the point where he's able to like teach me certain things. But I felt like, I ain't even never said it before. There was some particular times as I was growing up that I do feel like I wish he instilled certain elements of what a man is to me. But he's like, he got all this other stuff going on. So he's either going to work, he's going to the military, and then there was times where he's, going to Iraq and Afghanistan. So he's away. So I'm just stuck here. So I'm learning as I go that I'm like, I feel like I learned, for some reason I feel like I learned late about certain things that I feel like I learned late about how I feel certain men should act as far as like being stoic, not being too, I guess, emotional.
Yeah.
Because even with him, I always called him a robot because I feel like he got like 2 emotions. It's just like he just straight face or he laughing. He ain't really like show too much emotion.
Yeah.
And I think growing up, and I see like my sisters, everybody got a array of emotions just all around me. So sometimes I'll take on that trait sometimes because that's what I see.
Right.
Until I got older, and even though I got older cousins and stuff, and I still. Funny thing is, like, I have a lot of male older cousins, but they were the ones that was in the street. And my mother, she was really protective of me when it came to certain things because a lot of people went to jail. And they even know that my mother's like that. So they wouldn't even involve me in a certain shit.
Right.
And my mother don't even allow that. So I took bits and pieces of what I think a man should be, or I'll just watch them move in a certain way to where, okay, that looks cool. Okay, I like that. But then the other element that they didn't let me see, it wasn't until I grew up that I realized certain things that they were into. But that was only because I was kept away from it.
Right. I think what you said was interesting was being kind of like seeing your dad just being that straight faced. I would say a lot of men, especially military, like that's what the one thing they know is like go and stop. That's it. Like it's just two emotions. I think with me, I know my son, I have a 7-year-old. My son always tell me like that. I've never seen you cry. I really don't cry. And I don't know. It's not because I don't understand it still to this day. Like there's been times where I lost people and I just can't cry, bro. Like that. I can't. But I'm emotional, but I feel like, through time I've learned how to like just grasp it and understand like when to be and kind of when not to be. And I think for people, especially now, you got a lot of times where emotions are important, but people don't know how to control them, and it becomes the crash out. Like that whole entire thing of, oh, I'm about to crash out, things of that nature, of people being overly emotional and using it for, in a way, evil. You know what I'm saying? I think there's that emotion street is a very touchy one because, like you said, it's something about having to learn and having to take bits and pieces of things and really wrapping it into the best version for you. So as you're getting older, like going through school, did you ever feel like you were on the outside looking in? Not so much family, but like when you're in school or in high school and you're starting to realize like, oh, this is a little different, like than what maybe I'm, used to. Did you ever feel like you were on the outside and just looking in on everything?
I could say that, yeah, because like I grew up very reserved and quiet and shy. I was really shy when I was younger. As I got older, I got away from it, but I was always quiet. Like I was always quiet doing school. Like I could laugh and crack jokes and stuff like that, but 9 times out of 10, I just stayed to myself. Like anybody that knew me or grew up with me or they went to school with me, that's what they say. And it's funny because it gets to the point where I would tell them, I was like, I can't be as quiet as y'all make me out to be. Because in my brain, I just feel like I'm just being normal.
Yeah.
But they was like, no, you would just sit there and you wouldn't say nothing. You'd be chilling. But I'm in my comfortable element when I'm just sitting there.
Right.
Sometimes. There be some times where I could be in a crowd of people and I'm uncomfortable because there was a lot of times growing up where I was self-conscious about a lot of things. Like I just didn't like being the center of attention. It wasn't until I got older I got into the music and I forced myself to put myself in that element of being the center of attention, doing shows and things like that. But when I was in school, I always just stayed in the cut. I didn't want to be that guy all in front. I didn't want people looking at me. I didn't want to do none of that. I'd rather stay in my element. The second you try to push me out my element, it's like, I'm better at coping with it now, but back then it was just, if you push somebody to a level of uncomfortability.
Shut down.
Yeah, it could be shut down. It's not until you get older where you start learning how to deal with it.
Right.
When you're a kid, you don't really understand it. Like if I got to read in front of a whole group of people, I'm lost because I
hated that.
I
bro.
don't want
I used to hate that.
I don't want to read in front of everybody. What I would do is when I think you coming to me, I make sure I read a few lines beforehand so I get it memorized. And then when it's time for me to start reading, I'm like, all right, I got it. But then I start stumbling too, and that's the worst because then kids are cruel, so they messing with you. You're like, yo, he can't even read it right. No. I'm like,
there's nothing worse than that, man.
I don't want to do that anyway. But then it's like my mother, I think I got it from my mother. My mother's kind of calm and reserved, but she's older, so she learned how to deal with it. So she's not as calm and reserved as how she explained it when she was younger. The middle child, my sister, total opposite.
Right.
She's like the mini crash out. It's like she was just totally different. The oldest one is kind of like me, but more out there. But I was always, my entire family know me. That's why I'm comfortable. I could be comfortable just not saying nothing. They know nothing wrong with me. I just be chilling.
So, question though, in those moments, do you? Because there's sometimes like with me where I could just be quiet and just literally be shut down, but like I'm not thinking. Like I'm not even observing. I'm just chilling. Like I'm really just chilling. But then I know there's times where I'm quiet and I'm observing everything that's around me. So in those moments when you're quiet, is it ever just a peaceful place up here? Or is there always something circulating in your head or like what's going on around you?
It's more 9 times out of 10, I'm thinking about it a lot. Like I'm I'm an observer, but I'm always thinking about something. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I might be thinking about who judging me. I might be thinking about something, a dilemma I got that I still need to figure out. I might be procrastinating on, but it's something always in my head. But I try to eliminate that when I get around like family, if I'm at family functions and stuff like that. But my brain don't turn off. So I can be in a whole group. I could be in a club and I'm just like, everybody else around me having fun, but let one bullshit happen. And now I'm in there just like, I'm thinking about a whole bunch of stuff that got nothing to do with drinking, got nothing to do with girls, that got nothing to do with partying, period.
Yeah.
Get to the point where I'm looking at the clock like, yo, what time we leaving? Because my brain don't shut off because I'm too much of an overthinker, because I used to get to the point, I'm getting better at it now, but I don't care what people think. I care about how I internalize it, if that makes any sense. It's just like, I don't care if what this person thinks about me. I'm just scared that I'm gonna internalize it and I'm gonna dwell on it for a while. I've had a hard time doing that because sometimes if I think something of myself and somebody without knowing anything about me might say something to just trigger me, and now I'm tapped out. Now, no matter where I'm at, like I said, it could be in a club, it could be wherever. Now I'm sitting there like, I'm playing cool about it, but I think people that really know me, they know the difference between me being quiet and me chilling, or me being quiet and something wrong.
Yeah.
But no matter what, I still try to pretend like nothing's wrong, but I'm also getting to the point where I'm starting to tell people, okay, I'm feeling this way because of XYZ, only because it starts to make me feel better, and I'm able to get away from that after a while, instead of just shutting down and just not saying nothing. Because now I'm just letting it dwell and I'm letting it soak in, and like, that's unhealthy.
Absolutely.
So I don't need all that extra nonsense, because what I do is, not only do I work out a lot, I just try to be also mentally stable, because me being off, me not having the bandwidth to consume certain things is taking me away from my goals in itself. So I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of I'm getting into meditating. I just recently found a church in Brooklyn. I believe it's part of the name. I believe it's Epiphany on Atlantic Avenue.
Okay.
Shout out my brother Yuquan, aka Vintage Visuals. He told me about the church, and he was excited when I called him. I was like, yo, he told me about it, but I was just like, yo, I'm gonna come to church this Sunday. Without him trying to convince me, I was just like, something was in my spirit and told me I need to go. I went there and it was like a warm feeling that I got. And I told myself, okay, I'm gonna just start going more often, because it's just a certain feeling that I got. I grew up in church, but I took a step back only because when I was younger, you go to church and your mother might have stopped going, but it wasn't until you got older where you realized there was stuff going on in the church that she just didn't like. So as an adult now, I'm voluntarily going to church because I feel like there's a word or a feeling that I can get that can calm my nerves. You start getting to the point where you might get alcohol, weed. Some people use that to calm their nerve.
Yep.
But at the same time, that's a temporary feeling.
Correct.
You can always, I feel like you feel like you go to church and you put yourself in front of God, then after a while, those feelings become permanent, because you're starting to be around a different level of people that has a different level. It's like a euphoric feeling that you get from being around the word, basically.
Yeah. Big like big ups to you, first of all, for just going to church, because that's a step in the right direction. I'm big on always explaining to people that, even though I do Bible study, even though I seek the Lord, like, even though I will always promote him on my platform, even, I still struggle with a lot when it comes to just flesh wants, flesh desires, patterns, things of that nature. But I also think that's okay. And, going to God and being completely off is okay. Like, that's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? To get to the right path and get on the right path. And I think finding peace, sometimes the only way to find peace, in my opinion, is through him. It really can calm your nerves, because, I've been through personal things and things of that nature where people be like, Pat, like, how do you deal with that and still be so calm? Like, how do you not want? And I'm like, listen, I'm going to let God handle that. God's going to handle that situation. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I have to have faith. And what I would say, just in general for you, is just, even if you don't go to church every single week, reading the Bible, things of that nature can probably really, really, really help you. The fact that you want to be better is something important. Like you said, having an avenue where you're running and you're drinking or you're smoking or anything like that, you're right. It is a temporary feeling. And with that temporary feeling, you're running from something. Like, there's people that go on vacation all the time or do things, and that's their runaway method, because they still got to face the stuff when they come back.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're able to face it, I think, for one, it's kudos to you, because, again, as a young man, a lot of people just like say, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to seek help.
Yeah, they're telling themselves they're good because that's just a defense mechanism. You get to a certain point where you can't run from yourself, and you're going to have to start looking at yourself in the mirror, and then you're going to start figuring out. I just hope certain people figure out before it's too late. Sometimes I feel like, I'm 32, so I feel like in my 20s, I feel like if I would have figured that out sooner, that I would have been in a better situation. But it's funny because when you get to your 30s, you start thinking, oh, I'm getting old, man. I'm running out of time, and da-da-da-da. You got somebody in their 60s looking at you like, you still a baby. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So it's just like, at least you're going to get to a point where you're going to see yourself in your 30s, and you're going to say, oh, no, wait, I still got time.
Yeah.
Because yes, in your 20s, you feel like you have so much more time because you're still young. People saying, oh, this is your era. This is your era. I remember when that was my era. My era is gone. When they say, yo, this is your era, they're not talking about me. They talking about like Casanat's era and stuff like that, the early 2000 babies. But I'm still here, and we still got time to figure it out. I have a lot of conversations with like people I went to junior high school with, I went to high school with, and we just don't talk the same like we used to. There are a lot of people, like I've had conversations with, a lot of people are following God too. A lot of people that went through certain situations where they had to learn to grow up. Certain people might have had life or death situations and they still here, so they learn from that. So everybody's gonna learn that, but they're gonna learn at a certain time in their life. But I could be 50 and still learning.
Exactly.
The only time I'm gonna stop learning is when it's time for me to go up, and then it's over.
Right.
I should have learned everything that I needed to learn by the time that time comes, and hopefully God heard me and was like, yeah, I got you. So you're gonna be good. Which is why I do a lot of. For the last couple of years, I like reading nothing but self-help books, because that's another thing that calms my nerve. I like is an author by the name of Jason Wilson. It's Jason Wilson's. I hope it's Jason Wilson. I read his last 3 books, and his books is basically about like escaping from mental incarceration, like I said before. And he comes from Detroit. So he went through certain things in his life, and his main thing right now is he trains kids in martial arts, and martial arts is a good element that can teach you being stoic, developing emotions. But the thing is, what he does is, as a black man, he tries to make sure that he tells kids, yo, it's okay to cry. It's like, don't put yourself in a situation where you feel like you're man enough. You're not too much of a man to cry.
Right.
because we grew up thinking that we soft, that we're not allowed to show emotions. That comes from like the 40s and 50s, even before then, where it felt like we not looked at as men. We just gotta get up, go bust ass at work, come home. We gotta let the women and children deal with all their emotions. We just gotta be the one stoic and have to come in and just do the work. Because at the end of the day, they be like, who cares about us? We just here to work and die. It's like, no, but it's just gonna get to a certain point, because if we don't tap into that, we gonna quote unquote crash out, because we have all these built up emotions, and then we do something to jeopardize somebody's life or our lives alone.
Right.
So he's just like, no, it's okay to cry. It's okay to you could be a man and still have a certain level of feelings and emotions that you can pour out to other people, because the last thing you want is that to develop in your core, and you do something you're gonna regret, because nobody wants to walk around here and feel like they're in a prison in their mind. I've been like that for a long time. I'm just starting to like currently come out of it in the past couple years. So I already know that feeling.
I want to get to something, because obviously this is a big step for you, just in the right direction as far as like mentally. I believe it's the Holy Spirit that's telling me this right now. But I'm just telling you this through what I believe is the Holy Spirit right now, telling me to tell you the reason why I feel you're going through as much as you've always went through in your mind is because the purpose that you have is probably greater than what the devil wants you to get to. So I think how much you think and how much you overthink and how much of a prison you feel, I think it's always been tried to be set by the devil or by something of a higher being to try to keep you trapped. But I think what God's purpose is for you is bigger. And I think even for me, when I get closer to God, there's always like something that tries to get in the way, tries to get that wedge, and it tries to test the faith. And that's just me telling you. I'll take that however you want to take that. But that's just me telling you to just keep going. And whenever you feel like that, you're trapped, just know that there's a bigger purpose. So you have to keep going. But let's get into music, because you said music, right? What was the thing? Was it music? What was the thing that brought you out of the back? Let's just say the back. What's the thing that brought you out of the back and brought you in front of the lights?
Music, because I always came from a musical element. When I was like 5 or 6, I would play drums in church a little bit, and I started off from there. And then I got a little older, and I started like realizing that I can sing. So I would walk around the house. My mother would play music, and I would just run around singing. And she was the one that told me, like, you got an okay voice. But I didn't think much of it until I got older. So around 13 or 14, I was listening to an artist named Boxy. He's an R&B singer from actually from my neighborhood. I didn't know him. I didn't know him for real, but he was signed to I think he was signed to Murder Inc. at one point, or he was just working with them. But he had a mixtape out. Actually, then he got signed to Polo Grounds with Hurricane Chris, like Bay and all that shit. So I remember that, and it was like 06, 07, and he came out a record, and I was on MySpace listening to the record, and something crazy.
Dating ourselves, go ahead.
It's ridiculous, but it was 06, 07, and I forgot the song. I forgot what the name of the song, but I was playing it, and really something clicked in my head. I said, I think this is what I want to do. But when you sing, that's a certain level of vulnerability that you gotta push out there. Everybody, like, it's different when, like, I could just talk, but if somebody asks me to sing, it's like, oh, so you trying to get me to go there.
It starts to get hot. It starts to get a little hotter. Yeah.
So there's people in my family that never heard me sing.
Really?
And they didn't even know I could sing. It wasn't until I like started pushing it out there, my sisters hear me sing, and then I used to get mad because now they telling my cousins I know how to sing. And now everybody in my family start to know, but I still wouldn't. One of my cousins is known for singing. He's older. He got me probably 15, 16 years. But he was always a singer in the family. There was a point in time where, from what I was told, he had opportunity to sign a Bad Boy.
Wow.
In like the 90s or early 2000s.
Wow.
So, and whatever happened, it didn't end up happening, but he used to always like encourage me to like, yo, go do that.
Yeah.
And it took me a minute to like get out my shell. So it got to the point where I'm singing around, and then I'm going to the studio. Like I went to like the studio is in. Shout out to Rick Hertz. He was the first person. I think that was the first studio I went to, and it was in a daycare, but it was in a basement, and I ain't like none of the songs that I was making. It's different when you singing a cappella and then you go to the studio.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was mad discouraged. I was like, damn, I'm trash. I ain't never gonna make it.
So you were straight R&B when you made
in the
music,
beginning.
you were straight R&B. Okay.
In the beginning, and then for some reason I don't know how I got into rapping, but I've always been good with words, with like poetry and stuff, like poetry contests in school and stuff like that. I was always nice with just putting the words together. So I did a freestyle to I think "Sky's the Limit," Biggie.
Yep.
And I recorded that, and I was like, oh no, I was killing this. So I was like, you know what, I can sing, but let me do this too. Cause I was stubborn at first, cause Drake had just came out.
Oh yeah.
And now my cousin telling
Singing
me,
and rapping
my
Drake.
cousin telling me, he like, oh, all right, so look at what Drake doing. Now you got rap, cause you already sing. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I started rapping, and then I started realizing I'm a lot more comfortable just rapping than I am singing. The singing's always gonna be there,
Right.
but I gotta take my time and actually get comfortable doing it. Now time goes on, and now singing is, I mean, people ain't even really singers. They just throw the auto-tune on and they just do whatever.
Yeah.
So I was stubborn to that too. I was like, I don't want to put no auto-tune on my voice.
Right.
And I was just like, why not? So in the last few years, I've been incorporating it more into my hooks and stuff like that. But I'm trying to get to the point where I'm gonna start making full R&B, because 9 times out of 10, I listen to rap, but I don't like listening to rap like that. I'm an R&B head.
So give me your top 5 R&B artists,
Tough.
if you can. Just top 5 that you listen to.
Oh, of course, Chris Brown first.
That's my dog.
I don't even know if I'll put him first, but he's up there. In
Yeah.
no order, Chris Brown. Let's see. I got Chris. But I listen to a lot of new acts.
Okay.
So it got Chris, Mario. It's crazy. I'm gonna miss so many people.
It's tough sometimes making the top 5. So who you leave off?
Yeah, make it a top 5. Got Chris, you got Mario. I got throw Mary in there.
Mm-hmm. Good pick.
And it got throw Mary in there. And Usher.
R. Kelly.
Usher.
R. Kelly. That's how I be at.
Like I'm not one of them people that be scared to say R. Kelly. Oh, I'm putting R. Kelly in there.
Yeah.
Like
R. Kelly.
People be acting like they can't separate. I know what he did.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about the freaky shit. I'm talking about the music.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like you can say whatever you want, but at the
Straight
end of the
music.
day, the same people that want to criticize people for saying talking about R. Kelly, they the same one behind closed doors that's playing 12 play and all that.
Of course.
How you not play Candy Chocolate Factory and like he had a record late that was hard. It came out probably like 10 years ago, but we was all from about it.
Yep.
He's still singing in jail. He sounds better than most people.
Yep.
So then he got one more. How can I not put Mike?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Mike is like automatic too. That's like an automatic in.
I know I missed like 500 people, but
Yeah,
that's what I got
mean,
right
but top
now.
5 is hard.
Yeah.
Is music, would you say, your escape from everything that happens in your life? Would that be an accurate thing to say? Or is music the way sometimes you express how you feel of what you're going through? Because obviously I've never heard anything yet as far as like your music.
It's both.
But yeah, because I feel like it's such an expressive, like I know when I do this, right? Like when I do podcasting, for me, a lot of it, even the titles, like, because I'll create titles beforehand. Give some people a little bit of insight, but I'll create the titles beforehand. And it's like, sometimes it's what's going on in my life. Like I'll just be going through stuff and I write the thing down. I'm like, I'm gonna shoot this eventually. You know what I'm saying? So it's therapy for me. Even though I have a therapist and I go to therapy, this is still therapy. Like me, you talking, it's therapy for me because I even then learn from others. Like you're saying things like I've never had to deal with that personally. Like there's been times, don't get me wrong, like the whole reading shit, that shit had me laughing because I used to literally be looking at my book like, please don't call me. Motherfucker call my name, I'd be tight. But then there would be some times where I overthink, where I get in certain crowds and I am like, do I look a certain way? The shirt look good? Like, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. And again, another thing you said was age. I was 21. I remember, I'll never forget it. I tell the story all the time, but I was 21 chasing girls, having fun. You know, you're young. You just, and an old head, he wasn't really old head, but to me he was 33, what I am now. Told me, yo, leave them alone. Go chase your goals. They'll be there. And I was like, all right, cool. Then listen, now I'm 33. I think about what he told me. That's something that I think about. But then you go to that where it's like, but I've still made, even though I'm not where I want to be, I've still made an impact. You know, like I'm a dad of a 7-year-old that is doing great in life, progressing, is a good human being. I'm taking care of what I got to take care of. So I'm still doing great in life when it comes to that. I may not be where some of these other people are, where they're taking 7 trips a year and things of that nature, but I'm making impacts. And I think that's super important, is that no matter what you go through, is how much of an impact are you making on others. It doesn't have to be 100. Like I remember when I created a podcast, person told me, they were like, if one person watches and they take something from it, that's just as important if 1,000 people watch it and they get nothing from it. They were like, your quality is what is gonna matter. It's not what, you know, just talking about bullshit that everybody else talk about. It's like, what's your quality gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's it gonna help? And, you know, I've had older people that are older than me come to me and say, yo, I've learned stuff from your podcast. I'm taking stuff from your podcast. And to me, that's dope. And I'm talking 50, 60-year-old people that are saying, yo, we're taking stuff from your podcast and we're learning. That to me is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes me feel good because that's why I do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm guessing within your music, that's got to be such an escape and such like a moment for you where when you release it and then when you come out of it, you just feel like,
Yeah. For an example, the last project I put out a project around March. It was called Turned Out to Be My Crutch. And the intro is called I think I called it Men Don't Cry, Boys Don't Cry. Something like that. Not okay to cry. It's called Not Okay to Cry. Majority of my music is super transparent because I just can't help it. Whenever I start writing, that shit just comes out. It gets to a certain point where I be trying to make like party records, trying to make girl. I'm good at making girl records. That's nothing. But somewhere along the line in that girl record, I start talking about like deep shit. So it's just gonna come out one way or another.
right.
It is my escape. It's not my escape from reality because I can't escape reality no matter where I go. But it is a calmness to know that, be honest with you, it's a calmness to know that I'm good at what I do. Because it gets to a certain point where I know no matter if I feel like certain people might got a one-up on me on certain things, there's not a lot of people that can write like me. And once I get to that point, I had to stop focusing on trying to get people to understand that and just get to a certain point where it's just like the right people are going to come and the right people are going to show up. Because I felt a long time like, yo, people ain't supporting me. I'm trying to get my stuff out there. But 9 times out of 10, I was overthinking a lot and I wasn't putting a lot of stuff out. So it wasn't people checking for me because I was damn near, you could probably say I ain't want them to check for me. I just wasn't putting stuff out because I was self-conscious about some of the records I was putting out. That I'm going to the studio. I'm not finishing the record and stuff like that. So it's an escape. But it's almost like until I put it out, it's almost an escape for just my own personal reasons instead of putting it out there in the world. And then when I do put it out, I get a good reception from my projects. So I'm at a certain point where I told myself I was going to put more music out this year. I put the project out and I still got a bunch of music to put out. But then, quote unquote, life start happening, which is something that I want to start taming because I don't want like a small mishap or I get my feelings about some things and then I just shut down.
Yeah.
Because that's what helps. And then the music come, and I'm like, okay, the weird thing about me is when I'm in the middle, depending on what the situation is, when I'm in the middle of a certain situation, I've had a hard time writing. Once I get out of it, I can talk about that situation. But in the middle, I'm trying to get out of that emotional element to where I just shut down and I don't want to write. No, I should be able to write while I'm in the middle instead of having to wait. But sometimes I also think it's a good thing, because if I'm in the water, I'm drowning, but all I care about is just getting up. I don't want to do nothing else but just get up so I can at least breathe a little bit. And then the second I get out the water, then I got a certain time to actually think and actually learn from how the hell I got in that situation. And then now I'll learn how to swim later.
Right.
That's how I feel.
I got in a similar situation last year. Last year. I've been doing this podcast stuff for 3 years, almost 4. And I started behind a computer, like Zoom type style, right? And then I moved into the studio. Shout out to my friend Ben. He put me in, he got a studio, let me use his equipment, you know what I'm saying? Pay him, do all that stuff, do what I gotta do. So, and I had different co-hosts, things of that nature. Good vibes, good times. And it was great, like for the growth part of it. And I got to a point where I was like, you know what? It's just becoming too much. Like, there's a lot of stuff, like you said, life be lifing. It's becoming too much. And I'm just like, man, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I'm stressed. Like, I enjoy this stuff, but I don't know what's going to happen. Like, the equipment is expensive. The stuff is, like, it's a lot. People don't even realize, like, how much goes behind it. I'm like, I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do this. Like, I pay an editor. Editors are, they bread. Like, what am I going to do? And, God sometimes blesses you sometimes when you sit back and you're quiet. Sometimes you just got to think, right? And shout out to my guy, Zach. He had everything, all the equipment, everything. And I was like, I want to do a pod with you. And that turned into something where he would edit and produce and do all the stuff for me. And I was able to do like what we're doing right now, one-on-ones. And I started with him, and I got other people on there. I got my pastor on there and things of that nature. And then, again, shout out to my cousin. He steps in, and he's like, I believe in you. Straight up, just like that. I believe in you. Let's take this to the next level. Now, I own everything now because of my cousin to help me out big time to get me where I need to get to. Just the point of me saying it is to agree with you is sometimes we are treading water and we having that moment of like I just got to stay afloat. But again, having that faith and believing in God, sometimes God uses vessels to really help us and grab us out of the water. It may not be God himself, you seeing his hand, or, and he pulling you out. But in retrospect, by using these vessels, using these people, he's pulling you out. And to me, I feel like an obligation to not only them, but to others to help people come out as well. You get what I'm saying? Pull them out the water as well. Let's talk about, first of all, before we get out of the music, I want you to, if you do have like places where people can find your music, I want you to tell them about that. And then after you tell them about that, I want you to deep dive into things of like videography and that nature, because you have a whole other side to you too, behind the scenes, that wants to do things of that nature. So yeah, let's start with the music and just tell them where they can find your music.
Oh, you can find my music on all platforms. Demetri, Demetrii. Just type that in and you can find it on Apple, you find it on YouTube, you find it on Spotify, all of that. So you can find my music there. As far as even the videography is concerned, I didn't get into that until my cousin, shout out to Bobby, he was shooting music videos early on. It was probably but he was shooting before 2012, 2013. But I was trying to get him to shoot me a music video. And it was a certain time where he was just procrastinating a lot. And I'm like, you know what, I'm tired of this shit. I'm not even just gonna wait for you. I'm gonna at least try to learn how to do this shit myself. So I bought a camera. I bought a Canon, it was a T3i. I bought that and that was like 2012. I remember it was like December. It was like December 20th something, 2012. I bought the camera. And I didn't even know how to shoot myself. I just bought it because I was just like, I think I just need a camera. Even if I get somebody else that don't know nothing about camera, you can hold this and just shoot something for me. I never even ended up doing that. But I had my friend that I would just go to the park or something like that, and we just shoot. And I started to grow in love. I started to fall in love with it, and just telling stories a different way. Like I never wanted to shoot music videos. I just never liked shooting music videos ever. It just come with too much. And I'll be like, I'm a rapper. I don't like rappers. I'm be honest with you. It's just like I like rap. I like hip hop. And I don't even want to say I don't like rappers. I don't like what being a rapper entails when it comes to certain certain personalities. Because I don't want people coming up to me with the mask on. Just be you. That's how I really feel.
Right.
When I press record, then turn into him. But it's too much that comes with being a rapper. So I don't like even being in that element a lot. I don't need all the weed smoke. And this was back in the era where they used to just have guns in the videos for no reason at all. And they just shaking the camera all over the place and stuff like that. No, I never wanted to do that. So I just stayed away from it. And then when I went away to college, like I went to college for film and television production. First, I went to Hampton University in Virginia, but I went there for journalism at first, and I went there for a semester. And then I transferred the next semester. I transferred to Howard, and that's when I was there, and I majored in film and television production. Even so, I still was out there not shooting that much.
How challenging was that? Because, like, I'll tell you for this, right? Like, like editing, when I first did, like, my first edit for, like, a podcast, and that took me like 4 hours to do an hour podcast. No lie, because everything just looked Chinese. I'm like, how do I chop? How do I do this? How do I do that? So when you got there, you started like really experiencing it. How challenging was it?
When I think about it, I don't even think it was that challenging. I didn't do no special effects. I just took clip by clip and just put pieces together. I think at the time it was like iMovie.
Right.
You go straight to iMovie, and just like every bits and piece of clip, just put it together. Might put some music in between, and like, of course, I ain't know nothing about color grading. I ain't do none of that. It's just like
it's crazy.
You learn as you go, and like I was always the type to just wing it. I wasn't like going on YouTube and try to learn how to do stuff. I was just like, I'll figure it out on the fly. And it wasn't until I got more into it, I was like, you know what, let me actually like really do my due diligence and actually like figure out how to do certain things instead of waiting until I need to do it. And now I don't know how to do it. And now I'm like, all right, let me learn from my mistakes. Like, let me figure this out before I even start pressing record. It took me a while to do that because it was a point in time where I wanted to focus on the music more. So I kind of put the camera down because I also had like an ego thing where I didn't want people asking me to shoot stuff for them. I'm like, yo, I'm an artist. No, I want to be shot.
Right.
Record me. Record me rapping, record me doing whatever. But at the same time, like I said, I didn't want to be the center of attention. It was hard as hell for me to go up on the stage and start recording, but start performing. But I forced myself to do it.
Right.
But I had this thing where I was so headstrong on being a rapper that I wasn't focusing on the camera. It wasn't until later on where I told myself, all right, the rapping ain't cutting it right now. Even though I love to do it, but I got to figure something out. Not realizing that if I would have just stuck with the camera has brought me in more rooms than my music has.
Yes.
So once I started realizing, even before, like even wanting to do internships, like I tried to get an internship at The Source. I tried to get an internship at like Warner and all like music labels and stuff like that. Just offer just my camera, but no, I wanted to make music.
Of course.
And this day and age, you have to do something else that's gonna funnel your music to a certain level of people.
It's true.
That's what these kids are doing now. They come in with the music later, but they showing you your personality first. I know it gets tough because if you really into the music, you want to showcase your music, but this is not the era we're in.
Yep.
I sold my camera in, like I would say like 2016, 2017. I was just like, I'm gonna use this money and I'm gonna just go to the studio. I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. I'm going to the studio and I'm not, music ain't hitting or I'm not even putting it out. And then I have friends of mine that they grabbed the camera and they went head on into it. And they're big in, they got their names buzzing in the city just off of videography,
Right.
photography.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here like, these are still my friends that I started shooting before them. But when I put it down, they picked it up and they did what I was supposed to do. And they already know where I come from. They already know my heart. I congratulate them for whatever.
Right.
So they have no problem telling me certain things, helping me out, because when they used to have my friend hit me about certain things that had to do with the camera, because I might have known more things than him. Now he's helping me getting back into the situation, because I got I picked my camera back up in like 2020, 2021. So now it's like riding a bike. Mm-hmm. This time I need a little bit more help. So now, not leaning, but I will ask the same people that was asking me for advice. I'm asking them for advice, and I don't got no egos in my circle.
That's beautiful.
So we all trying to get to a certain place. So when I reach out to them, they have no problem helping me out, and that's how it should be.
Absolutely.
Everybody don't be like that.
I think even when me and you met, we met, at the run, and I think I had the camera, right? I was taking photos of y'all and things of that nature, but like to me, that's not my passion. I enjoy doing it, but this is my passion, right? Like being in front of the camera, talking, and having this type of environment is my passion. Taking photos of people and things of that nature, I enjoy doing because I enjoy making people happy. So, but like you said, sometimes it gets you into doors. Like me and you, me and you would have chopped it up, but your direct was, oh, what kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of camera is that? And that sparked the conversation to then get to where we're at right now. You know what I'm saying? So, totally agree with you. Totally see that.
I'm always asking people, if I'm in a room and I see somebody with a camera, I'm gonna walk up to them and just, because you never know who's who. You never know what type of relationships you can build by just having a conversation. I gotta shout my boy Alex out. He's one of the most talkative people I know. He's too friendly.
Yeah, we all know. We all know. Yeah.
If he see this, he's like, yo, he don't even like that I say that, but yeah, he know he friendly. That's just his way of, that's just his nature.
Right.
He likes having conversations. He's like communicating with people. So, and that's a good thing. So he's been able to like go into certain relationships and getting certain opportunities just because he's a likable person.
Right.
So being around him, I learned how to be more social. Like, I'm nice when I feel comfortable.
Yes.
I just don't like being the talkative person. So sometimes I might be in a room and I might see somebody that I might want to link up or chop it up with, but I'm like, I don't feel like talking. He's opposite. No, he going up to them, make a conversation. He might start off with, hey, what kind of shoes is those? But then he gonna build up to having a conversation and actually ask you what you doing, this, that, and the third. So I started learning from that. And that's all people need to do is just have simple conversations, especially in the city that we're in. Everybody's trying to get to the next level. So why not put yourself in a situation where you could just like, hey, my name is blah, blah, blah. What you do? Oh, I do da, 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 da. Or maybe we could work, later on in the future. Cool. Similar to what we got going on.
Right.
I see you with a camera. I own a camera. So I was just like, hey, how you doing? Da, da, da. I do this, that, and the third. I don't even know how I found out about the run, but I was looking in the run clubs for a minute. Because that looked like the new thing now. Everybody got a run club going on right now.
Yeah, everybody does.
So I was just like, all right, so I'm going to go. And I heard about the clothing line for a minute. I was just like, I almost bought something like last month, a couple months ago too. I mean, it's not in the cart no more. I forgot to buy it. I'm gonna get some of those though. I just like the comfy look. Like, I don't like this look like I got on some comfy shit right now.
Yeah, that's all I wear, man. It's either my shit or come shit. That's my brother, so it's I feel that. What's your goal with this? Like with music and with the film, what is the goal in the long run? I know it's hard to sometimes put that into perspective because you don't know what's gonna happen. But what is the goal for you? If you had to look down and just say because God always has his way, and it's always gonna be that way. But what is your personal goal for this and for yourself?
My goal right now is it's still the same when it comes to the music. I see myself as being somewhere on the level of like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, or even Wale, who gets pushed out of the conversation, who just dropped a phenomenal project. But even if I want to add the camera into it, I just like telling stories. I like painting pictures. I see myself taking it to a certain point where I'll be making my own short films, and I see myself as who's to say I can't do what Spike Lee's been doing for years? Who's to say I can't do what John Singleton was doing? Rest in peace. It's put myself on the same level as Robert Townsend, who don't get the credit he deserves and stuff like that. And I try to Ryan Coogler. I want to tell stories that are true to me and not necessarily always trying to depict the street element that we grew up around, because that's just so easy. And I feel like it gets to a point where it starts to become low-hanging fruit, because some of the best street hood films was done in the 90s and early 2000s.
That's a fact.
And it's 100%. Hard to replicate those nowadays, because times is different. Times has changed.
Yep.
These young kids can't do it.
And even like, not to cut you off, but even just the want to do it that way is a lost art. Like, people are willing to put out stuff just to put it out instead of really putting that heart and soul behind it.
No, that's yes. Because what I want to do is I want more stories that don't have anything to do with us getting killed, that don't got us committing certain levels of crimes, because now we acting like we're fetishizing it. I believe that's the word, fetish. So it's just like we making it look cool. And sometimes when I think about Paid in Full, it's a great movie. But it's not. It's a great movie because it's not making it. I don't believe that it's fetishizing it, because nobody came out good at the end.
Right.
So if you're gonna tell the story, tell the real story. Like, we got some of these, like, I ain't gonna shade Money and Violence. I never watched it, but I ain't watch it for a particular reason. But I want stories like, Ryan Coogler, just even with Sinners and Black Panther and things of that nature, just the route that he's going. There's a lot more that comes with urban communities than just violence and stuff that we might go outside and see daily basis. Right. So I like the movie, and also like cartoons. I'm forever like cartoons. I'm always watch cartoons. That's why I love Pixar films. There was a certain point where I was younger, when I was a few years ago, I told myself, and I'm still holding it on to this day, since I was 18, I said, before I leave this earth, I am writing a children's book.
That'd be dope.
And I will hopefully want it to be a movie in like a Pixar similar feel. Like, when I think about the movie, I think about like a mash of Inside Out and the movie Soul from Disney.
That'd be dope.
Something to that effect. And I wanted, because even in college, I wanted to make a cartoon, but then I realized how much it takes to make a cartoon. I'm like, I'm not even gonna complete this before the semester's over. I was like, I'm gonna hold on to this. But I'm always gonna keep that innocent side of me, because that's what keeps me live. That's what keeps the creativity flowing. Sometimes we feel like we get too old and I don't want to talk to nobody that don't watch cartoons or want to look down at cartoons because you 30. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. There's still an inner child in all of us.
When people try to run away from it, no, I'm always have an inner child. I'm an inner child with responsibilities.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting older, but who's to say I'm not supposed to still have fun like a little kid?
It's true. It's true.
So, yeah.
One of the last things I want to get into with you, because you even said it through your music, is you make, like, when it comes to women and things of that nature and love, what does, like, relationships look like? It don't have to be, like, personally what they look like for you, but what does, like, the word love? Now, you grew up with around a lot of women, right? So love is shown a certain way with women. But what does, like, love and now, like, being in relationships and things of that nature, what does that look like to you?
That's funny, because when it comes to women, I'm very tricky, and I feel like with love, for one, it's a lot of compromising.
Yes.
You gotta it's a lot of modifying your daily lifestyle to incorporate someone else. And currently, even though there've been times where I bounced around with that idea of wanting to be in a relationship, but I'm also very picky about who I give my time to. And I don't mean no disrespect to anybody that I've been associated with, anybody that I've dated, but I have certain points where I could be with somebody for a little bit and date them, and I can tell off rip, yeah, I don't know how long this is gonna last. And it got nothing to do with them. They could be the best person ever, but if I don't feel it, I have a hard time. I've gotten so used to just being by myself that I can enjoy my own company, even though I don't mind being around someone else. But you gotta be like somebody special to allow me to modify my daily lifestyle to incorporate you in it. So you telling me I gotta follow up, I gotta text, I gotta call, I gotta FaceTime, I gotta do all of that. I gotta really like you to even put myself in that situation. Cause I don't want to talk on the phone all the time. I don't want to be on FaceTime like that. I've done it in the past because I really like this person.
Yeah.
So love right now to me, like even with women, like I love my family, I love my mother, I love my sisters. Being around them, they taught me how to not approach women, but taught me how to love and care for women. So I put women on a pedestal. So just know when you're around me and you're a woman, I'm always gonna put you on a certain level, or a certain pedestal. It just depends on how I am at a particular time. 9 times out of 10, it don't be nothing wrong with the woman. Sometimes it be just where I'm at in life. And it's like, do I really want to put myself in that situation to where I'm going to have them look at me crazy because I might not be in the best position to actually be there for you when you need me to. Mm-hmm. So love right now, I'm just letting things come naturally. Like I'm not pushing for anything. Like I said, I just really have to feel it. I got a few, I ain't gonna say situations because I'm not in no like relationship, nothing like that. But I've talked to a few women in the past year. Some things was my fault, some things wasn't. It just certain things that I just wasn't feeling at that particular time, and I just wasn't willing to put myself in a situation where I'm like, I'm working on this, and it's hard to try to bring you in. Yeah. Because I'm scared. I'm too much of a forward thinker, and I think too much. I'm scared that if I get with you and I start like you, I'm scared that I'm going to start forgetting my responsibilities on here because I still got goals and aspirations I want to do. And I would just hope that you would be understanding enough to know as much as I care for you, you may not be first. Yeah. Because I know if I put you first, I'm going to regret you later on. Mm-hmm. Because I'm a lack in what I'm really trying to do. Stuff like this, if I'm in a relationship and I'm so consumed with that relationship and I put this in the back burner a few years from now when I'm not in the level that I think I should be because I gave a lot of my attention to you, even though I love you, there's going to be a certain level, something's going to click in my head and I'm going to be looking at my circumstances and be like, see, if I wasn't with you, I would have done X, Y, Z. I don't want to be that person. So I'd rather you join me on this journey, but I just would like you to understand that I want to modify my lifestyle to incorporate you in this in between, right, instead of putting certain things on the side, my livelihood and stuff like that, because you might not like me as a man if I start showing actions because I'm looking at you more as a liability than an asset. Mm.
That's deep. That's really deep. And I agree with you. I actually struggle with that now more than ever. I think in my 20s, I put a lot of women first. And I put, like you said, things on a back burner. Mm-hmm. And I kick myself sometimes thinking about that. Like, I'm like, man, if I would have just locked in with myself, I'd be in a different situation. Now, I know everything, again, happens for a reason. But I feel the same way. It's like I'll talk to these women and like they're great. And I'll be telling, like, I sometimes even tell my therapist, like, yo, the XYZ is great. They do everything, but there's something missing. Yeah. They do everything, but there's something missing. They bad. They got a good career. They got good, you know what I'm saying, structure. They sport, but there's something missing. And like you said, it's really modifying because it is. It's effort. It's time is effort. Phone calls, things of that nature. making sure you check up on them, making sure you can take care of them in a certain aspect. You're asking, some people gonna be like, it's not a lot, but when you're, like you said, when you're used to being by yourself, and I've had 3 years to do that, like from my last relationship. So I had a lot of time to really work on myself and be by myself, where now it's like, shit, I forgot to text that person. Now it's like a whole day. Where like years ago, I'd be like, oh, did I text them? Did I text them? Like in my head. Now I'm like, not that I don't care, but it's to the point where I'm just like, yeah, like, it's not bothering me. You know what I'm saying? And that's the main thing. Is that's something that, I don't know, for me, it's like I want to change and I want to do for the better, but that's just something that, again, it's got to be something that comes natural.
I get a number and then I'll be contemplating for a week if I want to text this person.
Yeah.
That's what let me know that I probably don't want to be with you in the first place. But it's just like, I was like, I like you, but I'm scared that if I get too deep into this, then everything, because I spent the last few years just trying to get myself out of a certain hole or a certain element.
Right.
To put myself in a situation where, okay, I have steady work coming in. Because it gets to a point where I was very stagnant with the videography at one point. But when I stopped doing that and I actually started putting the work in for the past couple years, it's hard for me to be like, all right, I don't want to slow down.
Right.
So I can't slow down. I'm already starting to pulling up some momentum. So just bring you in the fold. And I've done a good amount of partying like the last year and the last 2 years. And sometimes it will go over my head when it comes to certain women that there are also women that don't care about relationships either. They cool with just little 1, 2 here and there. I'm scared of that too. Cause what makes me think, I know women, what makes me think that if you like me enough that just seeing me a couple times and that's just gonna be it. No, after a while, you probably gonna start catching feelings. I probably gonna start catching feelings.
Yeah, it's never it.
So it just, like, girls always be like, yo, they with, yeah, I ain't looking for a relationship right now, or da-da-da-da. But we all human at the end of the day. What happens with proximity, you're gonna end up liking whoever you close to. It just happens like that. It be people that I ain't even think I'll be liking, but I'm around them all the time. I'm like, you know what, you ain't that bad. But I still keep a level of distance for a degree. I was talking to my friend. I was telling him that, and he just telling me, because he's also like, my guy Yuquan, he's, in the past year, he's been on this walk with God that I've never seen him before. And I don't want to say fully in, but he close to it. He already got baptized last month.
It's beautiful.
But he's getting to that point. So anytime I talk to him, I feel like I'm talking to my mother. Because my mother goes straight to God whenever I got something going on. And that's where he go. So
those are important people, man.
Yeah, he because I know his lifestyle. I know where he come from. So the elements he come from, we come from the same neighborhood, but he come from from projects, and he done went through certain things in his life. So for him to be in that situation that he's in now, it's a blessing. So the way he talk and the way he communicates is a way that I've never seen him. So even when I'm having conversations about women and stuff like that, he just be like, yo, just say the same thing. Don't rush nothing. Just let it come to you. God is gonna bring everything at any particular time. So yeah, and I'm gonna talk to him. One of these days, I might have him pull up here.
Yeah,
it's a good conversation. He got a good story to tell. And
I would love that.
I know he would really like this.
Absolutely,
for real.
Well, before we get out of here, first of all, I want to tell you thank you, because your story it's just important for people to hear. It ministers to people. It's something that needs to be said, because there's a lot of people that are internally really holding things down. And the fact that you're even able to tell your story, this ain't gonna be the last time we talk, on camera, off camera. But I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you, and just to keep going, keep pushing. The last thing I want to ask you before we get out of here, where do people find you as far as just in general, people that may want to reach out to you for, there could be something going on internally. So what is your handle for them to reach out to you?
My private handle is same thing as my music, Dimitri, Dimitri Demetrii _ and that's on everything. Or you can reach out to me on my media page, Enough Media. That's Enough Media, MEDIA _ You can find me on either pages. I'm on both pages. So whenever you want to reach out, for a collaboration, you want to reach out for some video gigs or shoot anything, I'm here too. I'm just willing to create and just have conversations with like-minded people. You ain't even gotta be like-minded, but I just like talking at this point. I got to a certain age where now I like talking. Like even doing stuff like this, you give me a question and then I just go long-winded because I might have just been holding that shit in for mad long. So now I'm gonna just keep it going.
Therapy.
So that's what I'm here for. That's why I don't think a lot of people understand. I drove mad far out here to do this. And I was like, I was eager. I was just like, I really like doing this because stuff like this really helps my communication skills and just a lot of things that I'm able to communicate. It is really a blessing to actually be able to have conversations with certain people.
Man, listen, again, I appreciate you. If y'all don't know, check out that brand Enough. It's only going up. This guy is something that is gonna help others, and I'm excited to see where you go, bro. So I just appreciate you, bro. And,
thank you. I appreciate you having me up here.
Man, always. And that's another episode of Culture Shock Podcast. We out there.